Hello fellow maulers, this is Ron's Trains and More, back with another video here. I just thought I'd show you guys my new HO layout I've got here and what I've got going on with it and everything. Do a little tour of it and some of my HO scale collection. So yeah, this is about a 6 by 9 foot layout, and this actually was a club layout, a 4 by 8 foot club layout. It was a really old vintage in scale actually club layout. It didn't have any of that styrofoam on it or anything like that, and I added that 2-inch thick board on the front there. It stretches from right there all the way down along the front right here, and all that back half is a 4 by 8 foot former in scale show layout. They used to actually take it to shows. A buddy of mine gave it to me, and it's actually in 2 pieces. The 4 by 8 foot one is, the front one's not, but I know it looks like it because of that seam and that foam. I need to fill that in. I filled all the rest of the foam in back there on the 4 by 8 with liquid nails when I glued down all the foam. That's great stuff, by the way. Liquid nails, whenever you glue down your foam and everything, works great. Even for your track, I haven't had a problem with it. It works pretty good. Your cork road bed, whatever, when you do your track work. But yeah, it was a pretty nice in scale layout. Had a lot of mountains and stuff on it, but I turned it into this. Actually, if you look back on some of my older videos, a lot of the Lionel trains and things you guys see run that had those mountains and stuff on there, this is actually that layout. I know it looks completely different now. I pulled all the mountains off and redid all the mountains on my own. But every mountain on here you see I've done. I made out of foam, plaster. That one back there by that Southern Railway calendar, yeah, that's pretty cool actually. I just got that not long ago. That actually is a 1982 calendar. Got a set of Southern GP38 high hoods going over the bridge, passing a Norfolk and Western train in the background. It's got a glare on it right now, you can't see it, but the N&W train's in the background. But that's a really cool poster. But yeah, that mountain right there, it's not actually done yet. That hilly looking one back there, I want to put some of those puffball trees on there that you make with the ground foam and the like pillowcase material. Roll them up like in a bucket. That's how I do them. I just throw them in there and roll them up into a ball and glue them on like trees. But then again, I think that's how everybody makes them. But yeah, this is my first video of this layout here, and I've probably said this many times in my videos, but I'm sticking with the prototype, realistic, HO scale trains this time. I do have my Lionel and everything like that. They're a lot of fun and all, to me, you just don't get the enjoyment out of the trains like you do with the HO scale. I mean, maybe it's just me, I don't know. It's just the thing I like about the HO is all the stuff you can do with it. The weathering, you can weather them. You can make them look realistic. I mean, if you're good at it now, you can mess them up. But, it's just fun, prototypical HO scale railroading. That's where it's at, DCC decoders, locomotives with sound. It's just a lot of fun, But, it's a fun hobby. A lot of this stuff I've weathered. I've been doing this a long time though, and I've gotten really good at it, the weathering and creating scenery and all that sort of thing. So I mean, it takes a little time to find the knack to where you're good at it, but once you get it down, you can have some nice looking locomotives and rolling stock. And to me, a weathered locomotive or a weathered freight car, I enjoy it a lot better than having a clean one. It just looks more real. It's a lot more fun to operate, But maybe a lot of guys may not like to weather their stuff, or might be afraid to because they'll mess it up. But now the locomotives, I will say, I don't have totally down on the weathering yet. I'm getting there though. I did weather that Cato SD45 NS sitting right there, and it turned out perfect in my opinion. Actually, that is a totally custom engine. I did everything on that engine that you see. When I got it, it was just a normal low hood, or if you want to call it that, SD45 Kato. Sorry, that tree's in the way there, but yeah, I totally did that whole thing. Every detail part you see, I've added. All the light weathering I did. It's got Details West and coupling levers on it, Details West MU cables, Details West grab irons, long hood or high hood mounted bell. Let's see, what else did I do to it? It's got Southern style sunshades on the cab. Let's see, it's got a like a 5 chime, I think Nathan air horn. I think those are what those had on them. I'm not sure, but that's a die-cast metal air horn I put on there. It's got a firecracker antenna, Details West. You know, the same on both ends, the coupling levers and MU cables. And it's got a Digitrax decoder in it. I plan on putting sound in it eventually though, but yeah, it's a great engine. It turned out really good. Oh yeah, the high hood on it, that is actually a Cannon & Company. That's a high hood kit you can buy and assemble and put on your locomotives, turn them into high hood locomotives. I've always sort of had a thing for high hood locomotives. I sort of growed up around the Southern Railway and NS, Norfolk Western, in that transition era around the 80s, 90s, down what they call, I grew up in Sunbright, Tennessee, you know, what they call the rat hole down there. They call it that because of all the tunnels that it's got. It runs from, I think, Cincinnati, I think to Oakdale, Tennessee, that line does. But it's actually called the CNOTP, Cincinnati, New Orleans, Texas Pacific. And yeah, I grew up along that line in Sunbright, Tennessee, and I guess that's why I've always pretty much had an interest in the Southern and NS and stuff. The newer stuff, man, it's alright, but I like the 80s and 90s, kind of like when I grew up, you know, NS in that era, transition era, because you'd still see the Southern Railway running, Norfolk Western, the Triple Crown Road Railers, them pulling, but yeah, that was a great era. It was neat to watch them down there. Yeah, Sunbright's a little town, there ain't a lot of people lives down there, but I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm into CSX, Seaboard System, Clinchfield, chassis system, all that stuff too, because I grew up around that also, going right in front of my house here, over here in Maryville, Tennessee. But yeah, like I said, I did all these mountains on here, plaster and styrofoam, that's all that is. And a lot of guys, they'll make their rocks out of like plaster molds and all that. I have done that and it's pretty cool, but it just takes too long doing that. I can make rocks look just like a rock from outside out of a piece of foam. You just got to know how to paint it and weather it. Like for instance, I'll show you guys one I did out of a big chunk of foam. That's one I did right there. That's one of my custom foam rocks I did. And I think it looks like a real rock in my opinion. And let's see, I think I did a couple on that big mountain back there. Yeah, those are actually, every one of those you see are foam rocks. What I do is I paint them dark gray first, and then I'll take and I'll highlight all the edges, everything with light gray. And I don't know, you can't get much more than a realistic looking rock than that in my opinion. There are a couple plaster ones on here. Not really sure where I put them. I think over there on that mountain over there, that little one. But yeah, this is my layout I built right now. It's pretty big. It's a pretty big HO layout, you know. And I've got Code 83 track on here, Atlas. Now I did mix Code 83 with Code 100, and as a model railroader for years and years, I know you're not supposed to do that really, but the only wide radius, 22 radius curves I had to run my long stuff on was Code 83. And I only have one Code 83 switch, so I needed more switches, so I just added Code 100 switches right there and right back there. But And I tell you what, you can use code 83 track with code 100. Don't let anybody tell you you can't, because you can. All you got to do is solder it, sand it smooth, and make sure those joints are absolutely flush between the code 83 and the 100 track. Yeah, you get those joints nice and flush, I mean, they'll run perfect. I haven't had one problem out of this train layout. It runs totally smooth, and as you can see, I don't even have cork road bed under the track. I've just got it laid down right now just to honestly have fun with it. You know, I mean, all truth be told, I really didn't feel like laying down cork. I may one day, I don't know. I would actually like to, because that's how you do it, to do your ballast and all, but I don't know if this is permanently how I'm leaving this track plan, and this layout's going to have to be moved when I move soon. And I didn't want to go gluing down cork and all that, but what I do to get the track to sort of stay in place on this 4-inch thick styrofoam right now is I take and I put nails in it. You can probably see one right there if it don't blur up. But yeah, all around through here there's nails. I can't tell you how long. They're not regular track nails. They're longer than regular HO track nails. But what I do is I put super glue on them, each one, before I punch it through the track. And it goes through there and dries, and it holds that track in place perfect. I haven't had one problem out of it. And every joint you see on here is absolutely smooth when you run your finger over it. I've got 3 jumper wires on here, also soldered. I got pretty good at soldering track. I used to be bad at it, but once you do it a few times, you get used to it. I mean, you see my solder joints right there. I mean, you can barely see those soldering joints. If you get a good hot soldering iron, soldering iron, you can get your joints nice. So, hot soldering iron, good solder and flux. Yeah, that's like #1 key when you're doing soldering. Use flux, because it'll run right where you need it to run, the solder. But yeah, I mean, as you can see here, I got it mixed up a little bit. That's a code 83 Atlas HO scale switch. Soldered onto a Y, code 100 Y switch going into my yard right here. Yeah, that's actually a 3-track stub-in yard, as you can see. It's a good sized little yard though. It'll hold quite a bit, and I have done switching on here already. And you can do a lot of pretty cool switching on here. I am going to add another yard though in the middle right there. You might not can see it, but where that NS is sitting over there, there's another switch, and we're going to make a big yard right here in the middle. So, I mean, I've been switching cars. I've got a runaround track right here. That switch, where these NSs are sitting, all the way to right there. I know I could have made a long passing siding on here if I wanted to, but I just didn't want to do all that right now because, like I said, this layout might eventually be moved and all, and I just wanted to have me like a runaround track to put a fairly long train in right now to do a little switching on. Like I can get cars from the yard and bring over here. I can run around my train. Once I get those tracks over there, 1 or 2 buildings, I'll really be able to switch some cars. But anyways, I'm talking a lot. Sorry about that, but just kind of wanted to tell you guys about the layout here and everything, you know. I've got quite a few mountains on the outside. It made it look a lot better, I know that. A lot of these trees came from Hobby Lobby too. Those pine tree looking ones, they came from Hobby Lobby. Then I made a lot of these trees. I think these ones in the front here are Hobby Lobby trees. And that switch tower, that's actually just nothing more than an old cheap Bachmann switch tower, I think from the 80s. You could get it in a kit, and honestly, it looked pretty bad when you bought it. I mean, you gotta understand, it's Bachmann from the 80s. But it don't now. It looks like a real switch tower. You know, you take a little time and spend with this stuff, you can get a lot of enjoyment out of it and make it look pretty realistic, prototypical. But yeah, I just painted that with green paint like a real one would be. Old school green looking paint, tan, black roof, weathered it up, painted the chimney silver, painted that man, glued them on, you know, a couple weeds and stuff here and there, and it turned out pretty good. It's hard to believe that's an old Bachman switch tower, but it is. And that building there, that's actually a Walters Water Street freight terminal. I'm sure you guys got a lot of those on your layouts probably, but that was always one of my favorite kits by Walters. I don't know, something about that kit just reminds me of an old Southern Railway, like, freight terminal building or something, you know. I don't know. I just think it's cool. I also like the Walters Newer Mine kit and those coal mines are really cool. I want to get those eventually. But yeah, this is my layout for now. It's a good layout. I've been having a lot of fun with it. I actually joined the club here in Maryville, the Maryville Model Railroad Club. You guys can look at my channel. I got some videos uploaded of their our club layout. It's a really nice layout. You guys can check the videos out. Here's their brochure, or our brochure. I don't know why I keep saying because I'm a member too. Yeah, we call it the East Tennessee and Maryville Railroad, but I couldn't tell you guys what size because I can't remember, but that is a pretty big layout. A little slogan there. Pretty good little slogan, I think. But yeah, that caboose you see right there, that red L&N in that picture, that's actually this caboose right here before I detailed and weathered it. That's an Athearn blue box kit that I completely custom weathered and detailed. I thought it turned out pretty good. I didn't put windows in it. I guess I probably should have, but I don't know, it's something about doing cabooses. I like weathering them and detailing them. It's a lot of fun. Got a chassis one there. And I think that's a Walters that I weathered and everything. It turned out good. And I want to get some more of those wood chip hoppers. That's a Walters Greenville wood chip hopper. But yeah, I've got 3 lights on the end of all 3 of those stub-in yard tracks there too. They're the old Atlas lighted bumpers. I wasn't too sure how prototypical or realistic looking those would be, but it is kind of neat because you can see, make sure your tracks are getting power and everything like that in the yard. But it looks kind of cool at night, all 3 of those tracks lit up red at the ends down there. Yeah, and these roads you're seeing right here, I actually just painted that right onto the styrofoam. The reason they look so real is because I took white chalk. And that paint is actually from Walmart. It's apple barrel colors. I think you can get a bottle of it for like 50 cents. And it's good paint. It's actually called Pavement. That's the name of the paint. But yeah, I just painted that road on there, and then I went over it like car lines with white chalk. It's pretty realistic to me. I just didn't do the switch. Like I said, this layout might be coming up. I just didn't want to put anything on the tracks yet. The actual, where they cross over, like the crossings. That's actually a die-cast crossbuck right there. I don't know who made it, but that thing was awesome. I love that thing. A couple cars I weathered here. That's central of Georgia. It turned out good. In that area, like Awana, it turned out pretty good. I do a lot of the roofs because the roofs on, in my opinion, would probably have a lot of weathering. I did weather up this freight terminal too a whole lot too. It's got a lot of details on it and everything. I put that ballast on the roof, as you probably know some buildings have like rock like that on top of them, like ballast. That looks pretty cool. Oh, I do have a light in it too. I have it hooked up to this old MRC Tech 2 transformer. Actually, I'll turn it on here. I got it ran through this old Atlas switch here in case I want to have more, turn them on and off, whatever. But yeah, I just got it hooked up to that thing. It's just an old bulb in there. That's not an LED, but it works. It looks pretty cool. I painted the interior black, that way it wouldn't shine through the plastic. But anyways, I've been talking a lot. Let me turn these trains on and I'll let them run a minute here and let you guys check it out here. Actually, I got one more thing here I was going to see if you guys have ever heard of. I was at my Model Railroad Club the other day, Maryville Model Railroad Club, and every time I go over there I get freight cars or something, I bring home. But I got this one here, and last night I had to find parts and piece it all together and everything. I actually had to paint those doors. I took those off another car, but that paint matched perfect. But yeah, that's an Allegheny Valley boxcar, 40 years on the rails, 1938, 1978. I've searched for that thing online and I cannot find it. I just can't find a whole lot about the Allegheny Valley. If you guys know anything about it, I mean, I don't know. I did find one car on eBay and it said it was extremely rare, so I don't know. I think that's a pretty rare boxcar. If you guys know anything about it, you can put it in the comments. But anyways, let me get some trains running here. Sorry, I've been talking a lot. Let me plug these things up here. I got them in a surge protector here, my DCC system. That's the best way to do it, in case you get a surge. Hopefully it won't mess up your DCC system, you know. I actually don't have the factory power cord on mine. I bought that voltage regulator there. You can adjust it, you know, whatever voltage you want. NC is about 13.8. That's what I got it set at. So, but yeah, NCE is one of my favorite DCC systems. I think they're awesome. Got the layout decorated here with a few things. They sent me those things years ago with a Trains magazine subscription. Southern Railway postcards, got my sign there and everything. Kind of neat. My Virginia and Ohio Pentrax video, I love that layout. Alan McClellan, man, that guy was just a genius. That's one of my favorite layouts. And then one of my favorite model railroaders of all time, modeling Southern Railway SD42s and the Southern Railway bay window cabooses. Boy, that's a great looking scene right there. That's a October of '84 issue. That's a great issue, Southern Railway. As you can tell, the Southern Railway's probably my favorite railroad. Up there I've got in a frame another model railroad out of Alan McClellan's Virginia and Ohio layout. That's a good video if you guys haven't ever seen it, that Pentrax Virginia and Ohio. Yeah, that guy was a genius. He sure knew what he was doing with his layout, making it look like the Appalachian Mountains and everything. Just an awesome layout. But anyways, you guys enjoy the trains running here, and I'll be quiet and just kind of let them run here for a minute. Right now I got my NS with Tsunami 2 Sound. That's an A3 Genesis. Just pulling like some Amtrak cars, auto train stuff right now. I thought it'd be kind of fun just to pull those for right now. I'll do another video later, some freight trains and coal and stuff like that. And I want to do one of switching too, switching videos. So you guys stay tuned for those videos. Yeah, there's those lights I was telling you about back there. If you can see them lit up on the very end there, it's glowing on the box cars. I thought that'd be kind of neat to add those, but got the freight terminal lit up. But anyways, let me turn these on here. Oh yeah, I actually made that. That's a Walters chassis system flat car there. It didn't look like that when I got it though. I put that wheel load on it, rusted it up with a rust marker, painted the ends of the axles blue like you see on the real ones. Turned out good. Weathered it up. Stuff like that, man. It's just prototype HO railroad, and that's where it's at, making your stuff look realistic. A lot of fun. Just awesome. Especially if you're really good at it. You know, you gotta be careful not to mess your stuff up. But there's lots of books to learn, you know, YouTube videos, whatnot, stuff like that on how to weather and all that. But I've been doing it for years myself, so I've kind of gotten a little bit used to it. I got to get a little bit, I mean, you can always get better. You know, I just need to learn how to do the locomotives a little bit better. But anyways, you guys enjoy the video. Speed step 128. I like it on the slow speed step myself, but anyways, enjoy the video. One of my favorite things on these A3 Genesis and the Tsunami 2 is the crew talk. That is just awesome. Number 7 dims your lights and turns the crew talk on or off. It's pretty neat. Just makes it that much more realistic, you know. Let me fix this phone here for a minute. I'm about to drop it. My Finger was going numb there. Sorry about that. Alright, let me get this thing going here. You guys enjoy the video. You can see I got it going through this crossover here. I thought that'd be cool, that little S curve. That's a 24-inch radius curve right there. All the rest of the curves on the main line are 22 radius. So I can run a lot of long stuff on here. It's pretty cool. Man, I love that locomotive. Those flashing ditch lights are just awesome. I'm wanting to get some more Southern Railway locomotives. Actually, you think I would have some, but I think I'm going to have one here soon. Atlas High Hood I'm going to be getting. Atlas coal or Southern Railway Athearn coal hoppers I'm going to run. Yeah, look how bright those ditch lights are, LEDs. I'll tell you, Athearn, with their Tsunami 2 and everything, they've got some of the best HO locomotives like you can buy, in my opinion. Yeah, this is a great issue of Trains magazine right here. I got the other day. I think that's a 1990 issue. That's like, I want to get that engine right there. Atlas made that one time, a Dash 8. Oh, that was one of my favorite CSX paint schemes, that all gray Dash 8. Man, that's a neat picture. I got to put that thing in a frame. I think it'd look pretty cool. But yeah, these things, they're running pretty good on here. A lot of that green stuff you see on here, I painted all that styrofoam a dark brown apple barrel colors from Walmart, as you can see right there. And then I just throw down a lot of that Woodland Scenics green, like grass, you know. I mixed it up in different jars and glued it on there actually with hairspray. Worked pretty good. I actually just painted that mountain back there all gray and everything the other day and highlighted and everything. I think it looks cool. Those rocks you see on it, that's actually just all styrofoam I cut and put in there. It won't look like that when I get done with it. It'll look a lot better once I put green stuff around the rocks, and my puffball green trees will go on the top and all that. It's gonna look really cool. I want to get a coal mine and put on here because that's something else I'm really into. Prototype railroading is, you know, coal hauling, everything like that. So it'll look cool on here. Walter's coal mine kit. Need to get some more passenger cars, make that train a little longer. Yeah, that front auto train car, I want to get some of those U-boats. I think they're U-36s, but that was a neat train back in the 70s. That purple, red, and white auto train that they used to run. I think it was like Norton, Virginia, and really sure where it went to, but it was a neat train though. And we've got one car of it. Get that volume up a little bit loud on that locomotive. I don't ever turn it all the way up. I'm afraid it could mess the speakers up in them. I kind of keep it down a little, but yeah, I just wanted to show you guys my new HO layout here. I don't know if it's really new, but new to me. This thing turned out a whole lot better than I thought it was going to. You know, mixing that track, I just didn't really have a whole lot of money to go and buy a bunch more Code 83 or Code 100, so I just used what I had. I throwed it up here just to have fun with my trains. And it worked out absolutely perfect. I mean, it's flawless. These trains run so good, even through this passing siding. Heck, I've even got a few pieces of old brass track on here. And it's all soldered, you know, every piece, and it just runs great, everything I've run on here. So, you can use about any kind of HO track you want. Just clean it and solder it. You know, make sure all your joints are sanded smooth and soldered and flush, and they'll run good. I don't care what HO track you use. If you do those steps, your trains will run pretty good. And have jumper wires too. That's a must. You gotta have maybe 3 or 4 jumper wires on a layout this size. I've got one there. Let's see, one there. I've about got it hidden, but you can see it a little bit there. And I've got one over there in that corner. So I haven't had any voltage drops or any problems with power. It runs good. And that passenger car you see that's lit up, that's actually a lifelike. The reason it's not flickering and going on like lifelike lights, lighted passenger cars normally do, because they normally flicker all the way around the track. That one don't, because I put Broadway limited wheel sets under it. And yeah, I had a set of Broadway limited metal wheels laying around that, you know, one side of them was insulated, and I put them on that thing, and it worked perfect. It stays lighted and don't go out or anything. Lifelike didn't make bad passenger cars really back in the day. They look pretty good. I think that one's an Athearn, that Santa Fe. I'm really into the coal hauling though, and freight and all that, but I don't know, I just got those out, thought it'd be kind of fun to make a video and run those. I'm gonna have a video up soon of my new Southern locomotive, high hood Atlas that I'm getting. I'll run it with those two. It'll have just a decoder in it. I'll do one pull a coal train or a bunch of freight cars with it. But anyways, this video is getting a little long here, so actually I might go and stop it in the back there. I appreciate all y'all watching my videos and commenting, subscribing, everything. It's really awesome. I'm pushing 3,000 subscribers. It's getting close. I'm almost at 2,000, but I mean, you know, I'm trying to get to 3,000. I'll get there eventually. But I couldn't have done it with all you guys not subscribing and everything. And I enjoy all your comments too. I answer every comment. I don't think there's a comment that I've missed on my channel. I try to answer every single one. So if you message me, I will answer you. But you guys remember, like, comment, and subscribe. I'd really appreciate it. But yep, this is my layout. I wanted to show you guys. This time I'm sticking with the prototype HO operations. I know I've said that before, but this time I am. This time, if I want to run maybe a loop of Lionel or something, I'm just going to set up a separate layout. I'll run them. I'll just have a couple different layouts, I suppose. I don't know. Or run a Lionel up overhead. That'd be kind of cool. But yeah, I mean, like I was saying earlier on that weathering and stuff, like with the Lionel, you wouldn't want to go and weather those, because I mean, you would just ruin them if you did. That's another thing I like about the prototype HO railroading, you know. stuff like that. It's a lot of fun, and the detailing, all that, it's just fun. But I appreciate all y'all watching. Sorry, I was turning the stuff off on that locomotive there. But y'all remember, like, comment, and subscribe. And I've got a lot more videos of this layout coming here soon. So you guys stay tuned. Let me see if I can. I'll have to raise this phone like way high in the air here, so you guys can see the layout. But let me see if I can take it over here real quick and show you the end of the layout here. Yeah, there's those lights I was telling you guys about. Atlas bumpers are pretty neat. My 3-track yard. This layout turned out pretty good so far. There's my S-curve you can see down there. Pretty neat. All my mountains I made. Here's another road I was trying to do right here. I thought it would look kind of cool. Those are actually old, I think, Bachman crossings. I pulled off an old Bachman crossing gate. They look pretty good though. Turned out pretty good. Yeah, all these rocks and all I've hand painted dark gray, and you can see the light gray I put on them, highlighting them. They look like real rock to me, pretty convincing to me. I actually have a bear up on this rock. My daughter gave me that a long time ago. I thought it would look cool up there. And yeah, this is a pretty neat scene to film trains right here coming around the curve. It's kind of neat. But anyways, I just thought I'd show you guys the new HO layout here, new to me, like I said. But you guys remember, like, comment, and subscribe. This is Ron's Trains and More, out.